Yo, what is up, everyone? Oscar here with yet another live stream. And if you notice, I'm not alone. I got my guy, Jason Alamillo, here, the Dallas fan, the guy that I sometimes see in my nightmares with his Joker laugh.
But I
Got
save
my
your
guy
ass most of
at
the time,
Oliver.
don't I?
I popped up on his channel a couple of times over the last year. It's Dallas week, y'all, or rather said, another week where the Commanders are going to sit and wonder, but we'll get all into that. But first and foremost, gentlemen, how y'all doing?
We're doing good. You forgot to
Good.
introduce one, sir?
What are you talking about?
You forgot to introduce Mr. Ed Oliver.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, he did. He did.
He did.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Make sure you guys sub up Jason. He does baseball content, hockey content,
Football.
football content. He does a trifecta. He claims that he's gonna do basketball, but I haven't seen that over the last 2 years he's been on
Well, that
YouTube. So.
I'm actually making the the format for the basketball this season.
Mhm.
I'm trying to decide if I want to cover like the training camp preseason or if my Lakers will make me cry enough that I don't want to cover that much.
All right, but make sure you guys sub him up. The link is in the description. Make sure you guys sub up at Oliver. Link is in the description, and also check him out on what is it? Locked On
And Locked
Wizards.
On Wizards.
Yeah. I don't have the link for that, so Ed, if you
Yeah.
could send that to me.
Yeah,
So
I can comment it
in
down.
the description. So,
Definitely, I got you.
but all right, y'all. Let's talk some football first and foremost. How are y'all feeling after week 3? And Ed, since you're the guest from the new guest on my channel, I guess we can go with you first. How are you feeling after the first 3 weeks of the season?
Yeah, it was brutal, man. I mean, we got our butts kicked on Sunday. We got manhandled. We got outcoached, outclassed, out everything. We look like a Pop Warner football team out there at times. Ron Rivera can't even throw a challenge flag on time. Scott Turner dropped Carson Wentz back eight times, or eight step drops, 7 step drops every time. And he got sacked 9 times. Something like that was a record. I think the Eagles haven't had 9 sacks in a game since like 1960 or something like that. Something crazy. Kendall Fuller was getting cooked left and right. We had a guy named Wild Goose out there who was getting cooked. And you know he's this is his second year, so I can't blame. I'm blaming that more on Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera, he just wants to bring in former Panthers. He doesn't want to sign veterans that can come in and immediately help the team. He's just a stubborn old guy. He's a stubborn old man, and I think his days may be numbered in as a head coach for the Commanders. And I think that would be the best thing for the team. Honestly, I think it would be the best thing for the organization moving forward for the future. If this is his last year, honestly, I'm getting to that point where they're getting out coached. The Lions spanked them last week too. The offensive line, Trey Turner, Andrew Norwell have gotten bullied. I got a long answer. I could go on and on, but this. It was the breaking point for me. The Eagles loss, the way they came out there and laid an egg because they got their butts kicked by the Lions, and I thought they were going to play harder than what they did. So I was really disappointed this week.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. I kind of, when I saw the score being 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, I'm like, oh, okay, so we actually have a chance. I flick it on the second quarter, and that's where the Eagles just let it loose, which I was like, oh, well. I'm like, there's a disappointment I know and love.
Yeah, it was almost like another Monday Night Massacre at one point. When it was 24-0, I thought it could get worse. I really thought it was going to get even worse than what it did. I thought the defense tried. I'll give the defense a little bit of credit because they actually tried in the first quarter, but the offense was so bad to the point where they just got gassed.
I think you guys are in similarity to what Dallas was week 1. I mean, week 1, the offense didn't know where their ass cheeks were from their ass. You had Dak Prescott. Yeah, he had that injury. Okay, fine, that thumb injury, which they're playing around with that too, which I don't like. But you had Dak Prescott not playing like Dak Prescott would. And I mean, you had him sacked 6 times or something like that in that first week, and you had it where the defense, D-Law was good. Odizio was good. Parsons was absolutely unbelievable. And so I think you guys are and week 2, it was the same thing where the offense was a little bit better for Dallas with Kellen Moore's predictable ass play calling, which did well in the beginning. But as it continued, you saw the defense having to carry the water for the guys more, and they got gassed. So I think both of our teams are in that similarity. And it's sad to see Ron Rivera like this, just because when he came in, I remember everyone was gloating. Everyone thought that this could be it for Washington, at least where we could see some good coaching. We could see some good play calls. Mike McCarthy, I think, is dumber than Ron Rivera. I think he's less capable than Ron Rivera, in my opinion. I mean, you guys get to see him more every week than I do, obviously. But I think with Ron Rivera, I even said to Oscar, I don't know if you remember, Oscar, this was like 2020, 2021. I said, you guys have a good chance if Ron Rivera plays his cards right here. And that is disappointing that he kind of he's like LeBron. He's like what Jeannie Buss did for the Lakers. Ed, I know you cover basketball too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jeannie Buss relented, and now she came out saying she regretted it. She came out saying I shouldn't have listened to LeBron and AB for bringing in Westbrook. Westbrook was an absolute disaster for the Lakers. He couldn't even throw a 2-pointer. He couldn't defend. He couldn't do anything. And he came out doing that interview anyway. But it's the fact that he won't bring in veterans that, you can't bring in a good running back to help you. You can't bring in a good linebacker to bring just whatever position you think of. He won't bring them in. I mean, to me, if I was a Commanders fan, I'd be more than frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, they're protesting right now, man. Like, the Eagles basically took over FedEx. Like, what was it? Like 20 buses from Philly down to DC. Like, I expect the same thing this weekend. Like, it's so bad that the fans have just given up on this organization. So, but if there are any positives for you, Jason, because after the horrendous start that was week 1, Dallas pulled out 2 wins against the first team was no slush by the imagination, AFC champs, and then the Giants, who are 2-0. Granted, I feel like after watching yesterday's game, they're one of those 2-0 teams that are not gonna beating the teams that they're supposed to beat, and they're gonna start losing to the teams they're supposed to lose. But we'll have to see. Yeah, like, how do you feel after these first 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I actually found someone had the full game. I'm surprised they didn't get taken down. So I actually watched it this morning. I mean, I've kind of said it all along. I remember the Giants were in the offseason. Oh my God, they're going to win the NFC East. They're going to, oh my God. And I was thinking to myself, are you sure Daniel Jones is even that good? I honestly don't think he is. And I'm not trying to be an a-hole here. I'm just saying, like, Cooper Rush isn't either. And you let Cooper Rush beat you. Now, given the Giants defense is also not, it's just not. They should have been defending him. He shouldn't have had 37 dropbacks. He shouldn't have been sacked as many times as he was. Cooper Rush never went down once. This should have been, if the Giants were so good on offense and on defense, the defense was looking amazing. The defense was this good and that good. And as all the analysts were saying that Dallas was going to have a major problem because of that Giants defense. Where was it? They scored 17 unanswered points. So I guess a positive for me would be if the offense can really they got a new linebacker, a rookie linebacker, and oh my gosh, I don't remember his name. What I like about him is that he can run routes and he can catch the ball. CD Lamb has dropped the ball more. So I would say a positive I can look forward to is, they've won 2 games with Cooper Rush. Do I think they can win a third? Sure. I mean, it could go either way, in my opinion. But I think if Kellen Moore does good, some good play calls, and Dan Quinn can get Parsons and D-Law and Diggs and all those guys to go after the O-line, then yeah, I honestly think we'll be fine. I am very concerned though. It's Dallas. I mean, if you're a Dallas fan, you're always concerned.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Commanders, they have slow starts. Prediction time. How many sacks do you think Micah Parsons is gonna get on Carson?
Oh my gosh. Did he have any last night? I saw he had a bunch of pressures, but I didn't.
No, he didn't get a sack.
He had a lot of pressure. They did some good pressure. They did.
Yeah. I saw DeMarcus Lawrence got a sack. I would say probably 2, man. Now, just because of Scott Turner. If Scott Turner, because Daniel Jones was running a lot, like he had to run a lot. He was scrambling and running around. Carson Wentz is gonna have to. He's gonna have to do the same thing because his offensive line is
like he's not the Carson Wentz of 2017 where he was able. Because I remember that season where the Eagles were like 11-2 that Super Bowl year, and we faced the Eagles in Week 1, and Ryan Kerrigan basically had him in his arms, and somehow Carson Wentz broke away and threw it downfield. He's not the same Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is just like, okay, they got me, I'm going down. And I'm like,
basically, yeah. His windup is really slow. His throwing motion is really slow. It takes him a long time. He has a cannon for an arm, but it takes him a long time to wind up and throw the football. And there's a lot of times where he's winding up and Fletcher Cox grabbed him, or Hargrave, or whoever it was, for those 9 sacks. It just looked like he was winding up for a long time. Now, yeah, I mean, Parsons probably will get 2 because our offensive line has been really bad. Norwell and Trey Turner, the 2 Commanders, have been awful. And sometimes Sam Cosmi, he's gotten bullied a little bit too. Charles Lano too. They've gotten beat. Aiden Hutchinson got 3 sacks against us the week before. So I mean, Parsons, he might get 2. Lawrence might get 1. And yeah, I mean, I can see Dallas get 5 sacks. I think they lead the league in sacks right now through 3 weeks. So
yeah.
If Scott Turner wants to coach like he did the past 2 weeks and call these slow dropbacks, then yeah, Dallas is going to pin their ears back and get 8 sacks. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. And they got a good D-line. I give them credit. But yeah, I just don't trust Scott Turner at all. I really don't.
It's so bad that even the analysts are questioning their play calls. Like, like the analyst was like, "Why is Carson Wentz stepping back, like doing these 7-step dropbacks? Like, what is he doing?" Like, I'm like, it's so bad that the analysts feel bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, RG3 was out there making memes and TikToks and whatnot, showing that he was getting sacked. But yeah, I mean, Carson, he holds onto the ball very long too. Some of it is on Carson, some of it's on the offensive line. So he's just going to have to get rid of it, man. If he wants to save his career, this is his last chance, man. He's going to have to hit the check down, get the ball out quick. They're not throwing the ball to Terry McLaurin enough yet either. They got to give him some quick hitters, either a screen pass or slant, something. They just got to do quick hitters, man, because this offensive line is just not, they're not holding up.
I mean, what I noticed with Carson is that he's found his favorite target in Curtis Samuel.
Yeah.
But Curtis Samuel was quiet all game, so I don't know. Like, I guess Scott Turner, it's all going to depend on the play calling at this point, but like I said, I don't have any hopes.
Yeah. Donald Jenkins said it's hate week. John Jarnack said, "What's up, John?" Yeah, I know John Jarnack. I think Donald Jenkins is a subscriber to my channel too. He says, the weird thing, looked at 2 analysts who pick football games. They both said Washington beats Dallas this week. Now I'm a Washington fan. The Dallas defense was on Jones all night. Wentz get it too.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you guys said too, I mean, I guess what I can say here is too that our defensive backs and all our corners and all that, they're not impossible to stop. Look how they played against the Niners. One of the things they did in that playoff game was they did not use Amari Cooper. And look what Amari Cooper is doing with the Browns. Incredible work. Well, what's the difference? Well, he's being used. I don't know, right? For his skills. But look, Micah Parsons, they like to use him as a pass rusher a lot of the time. And of course, they like to use him in the middle too. I think it's just, I remember what was it, 56-14 or whatever that game?
Don't bring that up.
Yeah, that abysmal game that got me like a lot of views.
That's the one that got Oscar like every view. It just reminded me, Washington to me was better than that. Now it depended on what Taylor Heineke would do. So when they got Carson Wentz, I remember going, are the Colts really that tired of him? And the answer is yeah, he wasn't doing anything. And if your O-line can't protect him, yeah, guys like D-Law, guys like Parsons, guys like Diggs, they're going to have a field day. And the best part of the Cowboys is our defense. It's nothing. Yeah, we got CeeDee Lamb. The problem is Gallup needs to come in and try and fix things. But the problem is they didn't put him on temporary IR. So now they're kind of suffering because, it's probably next week. It's probably next week. I mean, Cooper Rush, he's a backup. Skip Bayless, mine and Oscar's enemy. He acted like Cooper Rush was the god, and I'm like, no, he controlled it. He kept the game going, sure, but it's not like he was the one doing crazy things like say Dak Prescott would do. I would think, is there no one on the Commander's staff that can help Carson Wentz? Because yeah, he's not the Carson Wentz of 17, Hall of Fame bound. Wasn't he a number 1 draft pick or something like that?
He's number 2.
So he's the number 2 draft pick. He was this great. He was Mr. Awesome. Is there no one on the staff there that can kind of take him and make him a little bit better? Because especially when you hold on to the ball that long, I mean, you're wasting a lot of time. And also, I guess the question to you guys is, why aren't they using McLaurin much?
Well, that's what Scott Turner was supposed to do and what Ron Rivera was supposed to do. I mean, they brought him in basically because they thought that all the options that they had over there, basically Deshaun Watson didn't want to come here, rightfully so. Aaron Rodgers definitely didn't want to come here. Russell Wilson didn't want to come here. I mean, I think Russell Wilson was the only one that I heard trade offers for, and the Seahawks said no. So, I guess it was, he was the best option. So I don't know. Terry McLaurin, again, it's just Scott Turner's play calling that they haven't utilized him well at all at this point. Like, I don't know. An interesting question. Do you think Ron Rivera gets fired in the season? Nope. I don't think so.
During the season? No, I don't think he'll be fired during the season. The only way he would get fired during the season, he would have to do some Urban Meyer type stuff.
Or Jay Gruden type stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. So I don't see him being fired during the season. I think if they don't make the playoffs, if they go 7-10 again, or 7-10, 8-9, whatever. He needs to be fired. I think it's time. I think the game is passing by. And he has too much control too. He's controlling the roster moves. He's the head honcho there. The Commanders, bringing all these old Panthers guys. The Commanders. We just need new life. We need new thinking. We need a young head coach. We need somebody who's an innovative head coach, somebody who thinks in the 2020s and not in the 2010s with Cam Newton and Luke Kuechly. We're not that team. We're a different team. We need somebody with a new way of thinking. He's just way behind the 8 ball. The challenge, that was terrible once again. We need an offensive-minded guy, like I said. No more defensive-minded head coaches. You look at Sean McVay, you look at all the guys who left Washington, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, even Kevin O'Connell now. Look at Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings. They're 2-1. Look at the Dolphins head coach. You know, they're undefeated right now. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was with the Niners.
Or something like
Yeah,
that.
he was on Washington staff too, actually. Mike McDaniel's right. Yeah, that's his name. They're 3-0 right now. They're all young, innovative coaches. Sean McVay won a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan made the Super Bowl. And, you know, we end up with a retread. So, and some people are saying they want Sean Payton. I would pass on Sean Payton,
No,
too.
I wouldn't get Sean
I
Payton.
would.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't-
they
I
were
wouldn't
saying
get
that
him
for
either.
Dallas too.
Yeah, I think he would fit in better with Dallas, but I think here it wouldn't work out because, you know, he's another old thinking kind of guy, too. I think we need a guy that we never heard of before. Nick Sirianni, I got to give him credit, too. He's a young coach.
Sirianni's doing good.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with Philly.
Like
So
he basically like everyone was telling her, like, I feel like the Eagles fan were like, a lot of Eagles fan were like, you know, they were all doom and gloom because apparently they didn't get Eric Bieniemy or Brian Flores, and they landed this Nick Sirianni, and I feel like that was the best thing that they could have done because Jalen Hurts improved a lot. Like,
he has.
And you know what's sad? Jalen Hurts didn't even have to use his legs to beat us.
Well, you know, you guys, you mentioned something too, Ed, where Sean Payton would be a good fit for Dallas, and you know what's the similarity that Sean Payton and Jerry Jones have? That they both love control. They love to have control. So if you have Jerry Jones and you have Sean Payton that love to have control, you're gonna see a clash, right? Because I mean, look at Jerry Jones. He likes to be the general manager. He likes to be the coach, the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator, the janitor, the bus driver, and the cleaner, right? So the water boy too. What did he say in '89? I can coach out of this team. So I think, and look at Sean McVay too. I mean, here's what Ron Rivera has that no other Dallas coach has. A guy in Dan Snyder who's too busy running away from his scandals to really be able to be in their ear like Jerry Jones is in our coaches' ears. So when I just, you got to delegate the work sometimes because, yeah, you're the head coach, but you don't have the most talent out of everyone on the staff. You're a head coach, one. And number two, you got other ideas that could help. I mean, Turner's not doing he's not making some great calls either. And of course, like you mentioned, the McDaniels and the Siriannis. Mike McDaniels with the Dolphins. Are they gonna go that far? The Dolphins haven't done anything in centuries.
They got a good team, man. I don't know.
They got Tua's on like
Tua's wasn't he doing bad before?
He was okay last year. He wasn't great.
Yeah.
He was okay. Like
he
was more of a dink and dunk guy.
But this year, I see he's doing a lot better. So is the head coach the end all be all? It's not that the head coach is the end all be all. It's the fact that they're able to hire. Sorry about that. It's the fact that they're able to hire different staff to do different things, and younger staff, and that think, like you said, Ed, in today's game. Today's game is different. Even 5 years ago,
it is.
It's different.
I mean, and I think I stated this last week was. The Commanders, after the whole entire Bruce Allen getting involved in a lot of things, Dan Snyder, I think Dan Snyder wanted to focus on more of a coach centric approach. But unfortunately, and everyone thought that Ron Rivera was the right guy, but apparently Ron Rivera is also making decisions that general managers should be making, to be honest. And I don't even know if Marty Herney and Martin Mayhew don't do enough to convince me either. To be honest, I don't know. Do you agree? Like, are they just Ron Rivera's yes man at this point?
They are. He hired him. He brought those guys in. Marty Herney was there with the Panthers as a GM, and he helped Ron out a lot. They said when Marty Herney got fired, they said he took the fall for Ron Rivera or something like that. So they're buddies. Martin Mayhew, he's just a guy that listens, because if you fire Ron, then you really have to fire those two guys, in my opinion.
And start from zero again.
Right. But yeah, and what you guys were saying about, as far as, it's not just the coaches, the GM, whoever you hire, like his offensive coordinator, like Mike McDaniels, his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator, that matters. Who you hire as your offensive coordinator, who you hire as your defensive coordinator is huge. And I mean, look at the Cowboys. Dan Quinn he's a really good defense. I don't know about as a coach, but Dan Quinn, he's a good defensive coordinator. He's been doing a really good job with Michael Parsons
or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah.
You went 500, and you lose to I don't think he's the GOAT, but you lose to Tom Brady. You had Tom Brady handcuffed, and so Dan Quinn, and I remember when he was thinking of leaving because he was being offered head coach positions. And I was like, I don't know that teams want to do that with his history, especially when you lose to Tom Brady. And I think, it matters the fact that Ron Rivera, I just don't understand why he's so close-minded. Not close, what is it, small-minded?
Yeah, that too. He's stubborn.
That too. Close and small. But but he's so close and small-minded that he doesn't allow for input. There was an article in The Athletic a year ago or two. Well, most likely a year ago, that was talking about all the coaches in the NFL. And one of the things about Rivera was he's opinionated, but he likes to dish it out, but won't take it from the other guys. But if I was Ron Rivera, you think I'd take it from Scott Turner too? When he's also not doing so well, not making the right calls.
I mean, basically, Jamin Davis called the coaches out.
He did.
Even though Jamin Davis for me has been underwhelming.
He's looking better. He actually had a pretty good game against. He had 2 sacks. I mean, they're like, they weren't like, sexy sacks, but he stopped Jalen Hurts twice. I really like that. He's a good pass rusher too. They got to use him correctly because they drafted him in the wrong position. Like, he's not a middle linebacker. And they've scapegoated him and called him out. They haven't said one thing about Kendall Fuller and pressers. They haven't said one thing about William Jackson getting cooked. Cole Holcomb, other players. They haven't, Bobby McCain. They haven't said anything about anything else about anybody else, but they keep singling out Jamin Davis. I'm happy that Jamin Davis posted whatever he posted on Instagram. But he's playing better. He is. And he's still young. This is only his second year, so they got to let him play more. He has 3 sacks on the season. I like what I see from him. I mean, they got to use him correctly. Just let him rush the passer. And that's where he's best at. Going to see ball, go get the ball. And that's what he's best at doing right now so far. But yeah, like I was getting at, the GM, we got to find a good GM too, because the Eagles GM, Howie Roseman, he's been aggressive. He had a dream team. He had a Madden all season. He went out there and signed every big name he saw. He went and we've done that before. So I'm not saying that's right, because Dan Snyder, he's had big names like Albert Haynesworth and guys like that too. I'm not saying go crazy and do all that, but the Eagles were strategic with what they did. They got James Bradbury, who's a good corner. They already had Darius Slay. They made that trade with the Saints and got that guy Gardner Johnson. He was a good pickup. They drafted him too.
For AJ Brown.
Yeah, and then traded for AJ Brown. They had a really good offseason, man. And the thing is, we're paying Carson Wentz $28 million
for nothing.
We'll see. I'm still gonna give him a chance. He impressed me in the Jaguars game, but the last 2 games have been, the Eagles game was awful. It was awful. But yeah,
I feel like the Lions game wasn't really much on him. It was more the play calling, and he just basically had to play catch up. And they were like, okay, just kind of let it loose. Just don't throw interceptions, which he threw 1, but
yeah, the Lions game I didn't have a problem with. I didn't have a problem with that game. That was on Scott Turner too. I didn't like how Scott Turner dropped him back a million times, and he got sacked in the first half like 3 or 4 times. We got a safety in the first half too. But yeah, it depends. We really have to find a young GM too. Howie Roseman was a young guy. Sean McVay and the Rams, their GM, he went out there and he signed a bunch of guys. He signed Odell. Von Miller. You know, he doesn't care about draft picks. You know, he just wants to win. You know, and Ron Rivera is so conservative. He only signs these young guys that were 6th-round picks, 7th-round picks, Wild Goose, and Donovan Jeter, and guys that you never even heard of before, and they're coming in the games and getting cooked. When you can just bring back Eric Flowers and bring back guys that we've already had, you know, it makes zero sense.
Like, I mean, I don't know if it's already too late. I mean, they got Derek Forrest, and Derek Forrest is looking like he's panning out at the moment. But Landon Collins is another name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, depth wise.
Yeah, we have zero depth.
Cameron Curl was out the first couple of games, so.
If you think about it too, I mean, like the Eagles were extremely, extremely strategic, as Ed said, you know, had just said, right? Like it's not just about the big name you can go get. It's about what you do with that. And I think with their strategy, they were very strategic in saying, what can we do with these guys, you know, in the big games, right? Can he create depth? Can he run routes? Can this guy throw? How many sacks can this guy get, right? How important is that going to be in a game? And there was a comment, Oscar, that said that Ron is a crossing guard, a preschool crossing guard.
Oh, yeah.
And that Dan Snyder
our guy DC Bay had.
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah, DC Bay said that. And that they need a fire. Well, Snyder needs to sell the team so we can get a brand new front office, you know, all of that. And I think
is that going to happen? No,
it's not going to happen. He's not going to. If the tickets were $5 for playoffs in 2013 or 2012, and the audience was saying sell the team, he's not going to do it at all. I mean, come on, he's Dan Snyder.
Yeah. Jamin Davis 10 sacks. I mean, we'll see.
He's on pace. He's on pace for it. I could see it, honestly. I could really see it. I mean, he's doing a really good job of rushing and getting to the passer. Like he's doing. I'm impressed with him getting to the quarterback. I really am. He should have had a sack against the Jaguars, but they called a holding on Ben St. Juste or Kendall Fuller. I think it was Ben St. Juste. Ben St. Juste had a good game. I thought he was the best defensive player out there. Deron Payne, too. I thought he had a good game. He had the safety, so I thought he played pretty well for the most part. John Allen, he tried. He gave effort. I thought the defense gave. Even Montez Sweat, he hasn't gotten a sack yet, but Montez Sweat, he's playing in the right lanes and whatnot. He's almost. Montez Sweat is always almost there, but he's not finishing. So I want to see him get a sack this week. I want to see him step up and get some pressure on the quarterback because if we're going to win this game, we're going to need him to step up. Jamin's got to step up. Kendall Fuller, man, CeeDee Lamb versus Kendall Fuller. That's concern. Any wide receiver versus Kendall Fuller, is a concern, to be honest.
Kendall Fuller is the 2022 version of Josh Norman.
Josh Norman, yeah, he is. He is Josh Norman. He might be worse than Josh Norman. I don't know. It's a tough one.
You think he might be worse, or do you think he's just about there?
I mean, Kendall Fuller doesn't have the mouth that Josh Norman had.
That's true.
But does he have the skill? Does he have skills? But not even better, but at least close to what you know.
I mean, last year Kendall Fuller was okay, you know, but they need to move him from corner. He needs to be a safety.
Safety.
They need to move him to safety or to really safety, honestly. And they need to William Jackson. And when he comes back, we'll see how he does. I don't have any faith in William Jackson.
Okay, my thing is this: William Jackson. Was he on the injury report earlier last week? Because I didn't see his name until like Sunday morning. I'm like, oh,
right.
I'm like, this is so bad. Like, I'm like, William Jackson's out. This whole entire. I want to get your thoughts also on the Jimmy G news that came out apparently on Sunday, and Ron Rivera's response on saying like it was false or whatever.
Yeah, so Ron said it was a BS report. You know, who knows? I know Jimmy G, he had shoulder surgery at the time. So if they wanted, you know, and there was other, you know, somebody on a radio host on Team 980, they said that the report is false too. Then Ron was trying to get Jimmy G, but then there was the report where they contacted all 32 teams for about a quarterback. You know, I remember that they said that they called all 32 teams, even the Chiefs, about quarterbacks.
Good luck getting Patrick Mahomes. Good.
Right, yeah. So Ron was desperate.
$50 million a year? No, come on.
Right. So Ron was desperate, man. He probably did really call every team. Him and Martin Mayhew, they probably did call every team. They were desperate this offseason. They tried to get Aaron Rodgers. They tried to get Russell Wilson. Yep. Jimmy G, he I know they wanted Mitch Trubisky last year when they brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick. They had interest in Mitchell Trubisky. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted Jimmy. One thing I will say about Jimmy, I know Jimmy's not the greatest quarterback in the world. You know, he did beat the Cowboys in the playoffs. You know, he did beat them.
And then he lost.
Yeah, but he got there. He did get he got there. He's been to a Super Bowl too. Dak has never been to a Super Bowl or past the second round.
Closer than the Cowboys could ever dream, Jason.
Yeah, so Jimmy G has outplayed the Cowboys numerous years.
Times.
Right.
Who hasn't outplayed the Cowboys? Who hasn't?
That is true. You're right about that.
2020, Washington outplayed the Cowboys.
That is true. That is true. 41-16 on Thanksgiving. That is true.
I know.
But then again, the Cowboys got them the following year, 56-14, though, gentlemen. So I guess we both got to eat some humble pie.
But I still remember that phone call, Oscar.
That was a great Thanksgiving, though. That was one of my best Thanksgivings.
Oscar, this son of a bitch, called me. Hey, how's your turkey? Does it taste good because we won? I said, Oscar, I'm going to smack the shit out of you. Dallas has a history of losing on Thanksgiving. So yeah, we beat the Giants this week. But if I was the Giants head coach, I would walk in the locker room and say, "Listen, Thanksgiving, boys."
He's not wrong.
Who do y'all play on Thanksgiving? I got to see who you guys play this year. But
the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they traded for. I prepared myself for it. I was like, yeah, we're going to trade for Jimmy G because he fits what Ron wants to do. Because Ron wants a defensive-minded team and a game manager like Alex Smith, managing the game, not turning the football over, slow, 17-14.
Okay, but here's the thing: he had Alex Smith for the year, but yet those reports also came out that they basically wanted to cut him that same year. So.
Oh yeah, they did want to cut him.
Does Washington just want to cut everybody?
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, he released Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace.
If you get Jimmy G, he outplayed the Cowboys. In my nightmares, they come up all those times. Is he going to be as reliable? I think he'd be more reliable than Carson Wentz.
I don't know. See, the thing is, I thought the Colts wanted to release Carson Wentz. They just wanted to cut him. And I thought they were just going to cut him. And I was like, okay, if they cut Wentz, then I wanted to sign him because, you would have just got him for free. But of course, Ron was so desperate that he traded for Carson Wentz and gave up a second round pick and a third round pick for Wentz. But Jimmy G, I mean, he's a winner. But coming here, it wouldn't have worked because Kyle Shanahan's a better coach. Deebo Samuel, we got good receivers, but Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, they're just better coached than what we have, and so it wouldn't have worked out here with Jimmy G. It probably would have been like another Rex Grossman or another Mark Brunell. Well, Martin Brunell wasn't terrible. He got to the playoffs a couple of times. But yeah, it would have been another journeyman quarterback that comes to Case Keenum type of stopgap quarterback. We just need to draft. No more trading for quarterbacks. No more signing free agents. They need to see what you got. And I'm not giving up on Carson yet, but if it doesn't work out, no more trading, no more signing free agents, no more Case Keenums, no more Fitzpatricks, no more Brunells and Todd Collins and old journeyman quarterbacks. They need to build from the draft. They need to see what Sam Howell has or draft. Just keep drafting and keep drafting quarterbacks until you hit. And draft offensive line. That's all I want to see this offseason. Just offensive line. And a cornerback.
They I don't know why they released Eric Flowers.
Yeah, it was Ron Rivera.
Man,
and we got lucky with Jaden McKissick because Jaden McKissick, he was about to sign with the Bills.
Oh, yeah.
And he decided to come back. So we got lucky with it. DeAndre Carter. We let DeAndre Carter walk. Because somebody commented about that wide receiver that we're bringing in for a workout. We already brought him up. Cyril Grayson We don't need another wide receiver, but
we don't need another wide receiver.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. But what they're saying is, I think this guy is a punt returner or a kick returner, and Dax Milne, he's just
Dax Milne was just fair catch guy.
Yeah, he's like Trey Quinn. He doesn't move at all.
Yeah, which
So
the last few games, whenever they punted. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said, do you guys think that Rick Grayson could be a good fit for you guys? Because if he's a punt returner and all of that.
I never even heard of the guy until now.
No idea who he is.
Yeah, I never heard of him until now.
It's
to be honest.
Grayson.
Yeah, Cyril Grayson. So last year he's a Super Bowl champion. I'm looking at he's 5'9", 183 pounds. So usually kick returners are short and fast. Last year he had 10 catches for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. He is a kick returner. That's what they want. He was a kick returner in 5 games.
Okay, but why did they release Alex Erickson?
That too. I like Alex Erickson.
They could have cut Dax Milne and kept Alex Erickson.
It's like they're cutting the wrong pieces, and they're left with kind of the scraps, and now they're forced to go after someone like Cyril Grayson because they need to fix what they did before, all the damages they caused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, letting DeAndre Carter walk. Ron Rivera, he just thinks
I couldn't believe it that you got rid of DeAndre Carter. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, he didn't even bring him back. So that's one of the mistakes that they worked out. Former Chicago Bears. They worked out a couple of receivers today. They worked out former Chicago Bears undrafted free agent Kevin Shaw or Shea, who ran a 4.39. He's 5'10". Is
that where he's from? The Bears?
Yeah, he went to Liberty.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ron Rivera, he's just, man, he's about to make me curse.
I thought he was from Minnesota. I know, right? I know. Yeah, I mean, is he dumb enough like our guys were, then again, the Jones family made this decision to get rid of Amari Cooper? What decision is dumber?
Ron Rivera hasn't done anything that dumb yet, in my opinion.
Ed, what do you think? I mean,
what?
Has he done anything? Like, there's a stupid, right? There's levels of stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Did he go the level of getting rid of Amari Cooper type of stupidity?
I think there's some of his decision making, for sure. But yeah, DC Bay, he said, amazing the value they see in John Bostic. These dudes are pedestrian with their knowledge of the game. Please quit run. Yeah, I mean, bring it back, John Bostic.
John Bostic is trash. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, look at the linebacker core.
Oh, that's his name.
Why did they bring back?
I keep on forgetting David Mayo's name.
Isn't he the guy that hit Dak?
Yeah.
No, Bostic, he hit Andy Dalton, and he knocked Andy Dalton out of the game, gave Andy Dalton a concussion. That's John Bostic who hit him, and he did a helmet-to-helmet in that game. But yeah, the linebacking core, we probably had the worst linebacking core in the whole NFL. We might have the worst offensive line in the NFL right now, too. We might have the worst secondary.
And this is what DC Bay also said, is that Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio were former linebackers, and they don't know how to coach defense.
Yeah, they don't or coach up players either, is what DC Bay said. DC Bay, man, I feel like DC Bay should get on here.
Check him out on X.
Yeah, if you want to send him a link,
But we got Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver is the superstar for today.
Yes, sir. I try. So yeah, Ron, he just makes zero sense, man. They worked out a couple of receivers today, which like the best part of our team is our wide receivers. That's the best part of our team. That's
probably the best part.
Yeah, Jahan Dotson dropped a pass though.
Yeah. That did surprise.
And here's the thing: I was like that draft when they drafted Jahan Dotson. I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, oh great, Ron Rivera did it again. But he's panning out, surprisingly.
Right. Yeah, I like Jahan Dotson a lot, man. He won Offensive Rookie of the Week against the Jags. He's got 3 touchdowns already so far, man. He had a game-winning touchdown. I like the pick when we made it. I know a lot of people were upset about drafting him, but he can play, man. He's really good. I'm impressed with our wide receivers. Curtis Samuels impressed me too. So far, I thought he had a good season so far. Terry, he just needs more targets. But yeah, wide receiver is the best part of our team. You know, we haven't said that for a long time. Like we used to have Logan Thomas, tight ends. That our offense is the best part of our team, but they're The coaches aren't using these guys correctly, man. It's really frustrating because if we just had a halfway decent coach, then I think this team would be at least bare minimum 2-1. There's no excuses for being 1-2 right now.
Well, and not only that, but you could also be Dallas if you guys had better coaching, and I think Dallas has the same problem where, I mean, I keep going back to Amari Cooper, but a lot of our offensive guys, Kellen Moore doesn't use them like he should. And we have that problem quite a bit all the time. And then we wonder why have we lost 3 games in a row? Well, I mean, we're not using our pieces the way that we need to use them. We're not playing 3D chess. We're not even playing chess. The chessboard's put away. So I feel like Washington possibly has you have good players on your team, but there's a reason why there's coaches. And if you don't have decent coaching, oh boy.
Right. No, you're 100% right. I mean, they just have no direction. They have no game plan, no scheme. The first half of the Lions game, we were down 22-0, and then we were down 24-0. So both times in the first half, we're getting punched in the mouth. We're getting skunked. Like Madden, you have to handle the game would be over. But that's why I was so surprised in that Jaguars game. We started off hot, but Ron, he's the king of slow starts. He's always behind the 8 ball. He's always a day late and $1 short. The challenge flag, once again, the 2-point conversion last week against the Lions was awful. The 2-point conversion against the Giants back in 2020 was awful. So, I mean, he's called Riverboat Ron, but he's just made some really terrible decisions. Even the kicker situation, when he signed Chris Blewett, he signed a kicker that couldn't even get the ball over people's heads. Just little stuff like that, is Ron Rivera decision-making. He's always just behind on making decisions, and he finally got Joey Slye. Yeah, and we lost games because of Chris Blewett, and Dustin Hopkins. He took too long to cut Dustin Hopkins. He should have been cut Dustin Hopkins. Yeah. And then when you cut Dustin Hopkins, you bring in somebody who's worse than Dustin Hopkins. So stuff like that last year was just very frustrating. Landon Collins, he finally switched him to a linebacker. Landon Collins is a linebacker. So even last year, we saw stuff that he was doing that just took too long to make adjustments.
How much are you willing to bet he's going to take forever to switch Kendall Fuller back to safety, or at least like a safety corner hybrid type of
I don't think he's going to do it.
He probably won't do it.
He probably is not going to do it.
He's probably not going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if he's already not even throwing a challenge flag, right, he probably doesn't even know he's at a football game, and you're expecting him to make Kendall Fuller, put him in a more comfortable position like safety or some kind of level like that. Good luck. He's not going to do it. I mean, that's like saying Jerry Jones will win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do. I can't believe I'm doing this, but let's do. How many interceptions is Carson Wentz going to throw? I say 2. I don't know, man. This Dallas defense scares me. Scares me.
Don't be too scared. I get why it scares you, because I mean, if your O-line can't do anything, and you got Scott Turner and Rivera not doing their jobs and Jack Del Rio not doing his job, yeah, I would be scared too. In my pregame, where I have written down, I think it'll be 3 that he'll throw. Now maybe I'm being a little too optimistic, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. You're the Commanders fans. You guys.
I don't think he'll throw 3. I definitely see it 1. Maybe a fumble 2 because of the defense and holding on to the ball.
Oh yeah, long. And plus he did fumble 3 times against the Eagles. Yeah,
I think he fumbled. He lost 1 in the beginning of the game. Then he fumbled and then he picked 1 up himself. Yes. So I'm actually not sure how many he had, but it felt like he had 3. He probably did have 3. So I don't think he'll throw 3. I think he'll throw 1.
You'll think 1 and maybe a couple fumbles?
Probably, yeah. I would say, yeah. I could see the fumbling happen. If he holds onto the ball too long, they need to do some bootlegs. They need to get him on the move. He's going to have to run, man. It is what it is. Daniel Jones had to run around for his life yesterday. And
because he wasn't being protected.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen with us too. It's going to be even worse.
And here's the thing: the Giants their offensive line is much better. I mean, Saquon Barkley's been able to run around.
He came out. He definitely came out. But is it as good as everyone was predicting? No. Is New York's defense better than what they said? No, absolutely not. It's not. But again, is Carson Wentz even that mobile?
No, he's not. He's slow now.
He's slow.
He's actually pretty. But he ran one time against the Eagles, and he ran for like 7 yards. I feel
I
like
think it was like a third down too. So at least he got a
yeah.
third down.
Oh, there was one time where he actually had a chance to do the Legend of Taylor Heineke, and he got to the end zone, but he just he fell down. Like he's really slow now. I think those back injuries and that knee injury, it definitely caught up with him.
Oscar was going. I did an interview with him. We talked a little bit of every sport, but mainly football. And it was that game that you shouldn't have won against, not Green Bay, was it? It was early in the season last year, and he was like,
was it against Tampa?
It might have been against Tampa, and you had said if Carson Wentz or if Tyler Heineke didn't just do this with his head, and he did. He was mad.
Oh, it was the Falcons. It was the game that they
the Falcons.
Yeah,
and he was going on about Tyler Heineke, how he did this with his head, and he wasn't looking, and he did that. I'm like, wow, geez, I just asked one question.
Man.
Yeah, this Washington organization's been has been a major disappointment most of my life. What do you expect?
So is Dallas for me. Why do we like disappointing teams, man? Why?
Yeah, he's gonna have to run, man. That's what he's gonna have to do. But yeah,
he's gonna have to run, but he's not gonna do it because the play calling is gonna be awful.
That is true too.
Hold on, what was that thing he did where he threw the rock to the board or something like that? Rivera.
Oh yeah, last year. Yeah.
Fire the guys.
I
don't know if he's doing that this year, but I would take Carson Wentz to a track and I'd say, what is this used for? Running. Great. Run. Run.
Yeah, they DC Bay said, is it me or does it look like Scott Elroy Jetson Turner is wearing Pampers on the side? Scott Turner got an extension before this year too, which was ridiculous. I was pissed when I heard it. Yeah, he got an extension. I was like, are you guys serious right now? You guys are giving this guy a contract extension. What has he done to earn a contract extension? Have one of the worst offenses in the NFL year after year. And everybody was making an excuse. Oh, he had Alex Smith at quarterback. He had, who else? Garrett Gilbert and rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins and Kyle Allen and all these guys who are journeyman quarterbacks. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, there was a lot, and Heineke too, but there was a lot of times where you could just see where Scott Turner was just making some terrible play calling, some terrible decisions. Gooseman Chris's Terry is a very expensive decoy. Yeah, that too. And Scott Turner, he needs to go back in the booth, man, because he moved down to the sidelines and he's not seeing the field, or right now he's just missing something right now. He needs to go back to where he came from in the booth and sit up there.
Probably do better there, honestly.
Yep.
Now, here's where my concern is. The Commanders, your team understands Dallas's play calls, though, especially on offense. Kellen Moore is so predictable. I bet you any team can go, here are the top 10 play calls that Kellen Moore has. He's going to do one of these three things. Dallas is easy to figure out. If Commanders can't figure Dallas out, I'd be concerned. Because as the weeks go on, what happened to Dallas last season? 6 weeks in, great. No one could get past their play calls. All of a sudden, week 7 through 17, oh my God. Especially that after the bye week. My God. It was like everyone figured out the high-speed play calls of Kellen Moore. Don't you think that Ron Rivera is probably telling them, look, they're going to do the same shit?
No. He's probably telling, like, what annoys me is how he also doesn't know how to handle the media well. Like, he's basically, we got to play better, and he just repeats the same thing over and over again, which is ridiculous to me.
So what is it, Mike McCarthy? Like when Mike McCarthy said, well, we got to scheme, and then we got to do a quarterback sneak, and we got to, like,
there you go.
Yeah, like, we know that. We know that. What are you going to do to make your team better? I'm not a fan of statistics.
Ed, by the way, I want to address this comment. It says Micah might kill Wentz. Real possibility and a real possibility of Taylor Heineke playing in the game.
Knock on wood. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised. They might have to make Sam Howell active because Sam Howell's been inactive, so they might have to make him suit up just in case.
You think Sam Howell will at least be able to maintain Dallas?
I think he can run around.
He's mobile somewhat from what I saw in the preseason.
Oh yeah. He'll struggle. He may throw an interception here and there or whatever. He wouldn't win the game, but he can run, man. He seriously. And on Sunday, they're going to need a running quarterback. They're going to need somebody to run because this offensive line is so bad, and Scott Turner is so awful, and he doesn't put his quarterback in a position to succeed at all. So I think we need to run some RPOs and get you guys off balance, but we just don't have a quarterback that can do stuff like that.
No, and what scares me about the secondary
balance. I'm sorry, but once you get Dallas off balance, good. You guys can do anything you want to Dallas. Once you get them wondering, is that a linebacker or is that a soccer player? If you get them that way, yeah, you guys can do it. But again, as you said, you need a quarterback that can do that.
Yeah, but also you got to remember, I feel like Cooper Rush is going to have a big game against the secondary. I don't care what wide receivers Noah Brown, I expect Noah Brown to have 100 yards receiving.
Yeah, Turpin might come in and get 100 yards on his defense, man. That's how bad our defense is. That's how bad Jack Del Rio is. You don't have to be a big name wide receiver. You can be a third string, fourth string, practice squad wide receiver and still come in and
they'll probably bring that wide receiver that they drafted in the second round. They might just bring him up and just say, all right, time for you to shine. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah, Jalen Colbert. Dude, they'll probably bring back Miles Austin and bring back some other guys to come in and help out. They'll still score on our defense. That's how bad our defense has been.
That's crazy. That is just crazy.
They'll sign Des Bryant for one day.
What? Of all days. Maybe they'll sign him for week 18 too.
Yeah, I know. It's just that bad.
I'm back.
Cole Beasley gets released by the Bills. Dallas probably is going to pick him up as well.
That's how bad our defense is. You guys can go ahead and sign Cole Beasley. He'll probably end up with 90 yards receiving on Sunday.
That's probably it. Huh?
Anyway, all right. Last question, gentlemen.
All right.
Score predictions.
Okay.
I have Washington and L. FYI.
The Russian judge.
I said this earlier. I said that Washington will start 1-3. So
he did say that.
You guys losing to the Titans? We play the Titans after this, right?
Oh no, I have them beating them, but I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, we would be one of the. I'm with you. I have us losing this week and beating the Titans. I got a feeling we're going to beat the Titans. That's the kind of game like Ron Rivera. He'll do stuff like that. He'll lose and piss off the fan base, and then he'll win like a random game.
And then the fans think everything's back to normal.
Right. Yep. And I'm not going to be fooled. I'm not doing it because last year I got fooled when we were 6-6, and then we played Dallas after we were 6-6, and we were like, oh, we went Dallas. I'm not falling for that again.
Well, when Dallas had gone, I forgot what our beginning record was, and we were just doing incredibly well. And I was like, guys, we're still going to lose round one of the playoffs. And you know how much hate Cowboys fans are toxic. How much hatred I got on in my DMs about you're not a real Cowboys fan. You're this, you're that. And what happened in the round one of the playoffs? We lost. So and to me, the record is great when you need to get into the playoffs. After the playoffs, I say this about the Golden Knights. I say this about the Dodgers. You need to scratch whatever you did in the regular season, because that record is not going to help you. Yeah, it might get you home field advantage, right? But again, I still think that your record doesn't matter when you're in the postseason. If you make it to the postseason, I don't see Dallas making it to the postseason. For me, I have Dallas winning. I have it 23-8.
Oh, so you basically did the Eagles Super. So we're gonna get a 2-point conversion, or we're gonna get a safety.
Mm.
So I guess we're gonna get another safety and get 8 instead of a 2-point conversion. Gooseman said 30. Dallas might get 30. Bring it 316 said Dallas 24-10. DC base says
I think it could be a 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion. Okay, yeah. And DC base says the Commanders are a doorknob. Everybody's getting a turn. I told folk we won that Jags game because the Jags wide receivers dropped touchdowns. That's true. The Jags are actually pretty good this year. Yeah, we got really.
Hey, you guys are cutting out bad on my end. Hold on, let me fix mine.
Yeah. So you know what? The crazy thing is, the Commanders they'll probably lose this game against Dallas. Dallas is favored by 3 points at home. They play the Titans next week, and the Titans aren't good. The Commanders could beat the Titans, man. And you know what? Guess who the Commanders play after that? The Commanders play the Chicago Bears, who
Thursday night
on Thursday night. And Justin Fields has struggled, man. Justin Fields, he's thrown 2 touchdowns and 4 picks. So he's really struggled so far as a quarterback. It's 2 winnable games, man. I'm serious. Like they actually could win those games.
They
then they
could,
put a Packers.
but don't be surprised if they're 1-5.
I'm with you. But they got a chance to actually win those games, and I got a feeling they're gonna win. They're definitely gonna win at least one of those games. I'll say that they're gonna win at least one. They're gonna be at least the Titans or the Bears. They're gonna win at least. But I'm sorry, I'm looking too far ahead. This game, I got a 30. I'm gonna say 31-23. Cowboys win. Our defense is trash. Our coaching staff is trash. Carson Wentz, if they're gonna do what they did last week, we might get blown out again. I don't care who the quarterback is. It could be Ben DiNucci, and he would put up 30 points on this defense. That's how bad Jack Del Rio and this defense has been. And then Micah Parsons and those guys. It's a recipe for disaster. It really is.
I feel like it's gonna be.
Hey, at least
it's gonna be
31-56.
No, yeah, Cooper Rush, he's not good enough to. If they did that, then Ron should be fired.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be on the plane. Like they shouldn't be let back on the plane if they lose 56-14 to Cooper Rush. I don't care who. If you lose like that, you need to be fired.
Here's the thing: if they score more than 40, Ron should go.
Yeah, Ron should be fired. Jack should be fired. Everybody should be fired. If Cooper Rush puts up 40 points, yes.
And the reason I only said 20, the only reason I said 23-8 is just. I keep hearing from not only Oscar and you, but also the analysts how bad Washington is. At first, I actually had it 20-16, but I'm like, probably 2-point conversion or a field goal. But I don't see Dallas going up to even 30 points.
They're going up to 30 points, dude.
I'm gonna take it back from 30. I'm gonna say 24-16. I'm gonna say 24-16.
Yeah, I think that's a good score because honestly, I don't see them scoring up to 30. I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to be like, yeah, we're gonna win, but I'm being real about my offensive.
I'm gonna say this. It's gonna go down like this. Listen, hear this out. It's gonna be 31-13, and in garbage time, it's gonna be 31-20, and everyone's gonna say, "Oh, it was a close game," when it really wasn't. It was just a garbage time touchdown for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, they do that a lot where they're down. And we're going to start off down. We're going to start off down probably 10-0. Watch. It's going to be another slow start. It might be 17-0 at one point. And then they're going to come back. And it's going to be, like I said, I got a feeling 31-23, man. That's my gut.
I honestly have a feeling they'll have a touchdown by the second quarter, though. Maybe I'm overestimating your team. Maybe I'm the one that I think I'm being a little too generous to your team. I think by the second quarter, you guys will have at least a touchdown.
I urge you to look at film from the last 2 games, Commanders games, to see how bad the defense is.
The offense, too. The offense can barely put up points.
Cowboys aren't that great either. Like, yeah, we got our defense guys doing amazing. We got our corners doing amazing. I don't see a score getting probably further than 7, maybe 10. That from 7 to 10 within the first half, at least. Because I mean, if you look at it, what happened last week? Now look, each week is going to be different, right? But last week, what happened was 14 in the in the first half, and then of course those ending points, right? And they did nothing else for most of the rest of the game. So I've got some worries for Dallas.
I mean, if you really think so, if you really think so, then sure, I'll take it. I think being optimistic, I would say like 24-20, something like that. I can see that happening, but either way, I don't see us winning this game. I think, and it's sad that I'm like, oh, we're gonna lose to Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush of all guys.
Yeah, and he's not even that bad. He's not trash. Like he's a good
trash.
backup. He's a good backup.
I would rather Will Greer at this point because Cooper Rush ain't really doing it. It's not really him winning these games. Someone said that they feel that the Titans could drop 30 points on the Commanders.
They probably could. Derrick Henry, he probably could. Ryan Tannehill, man, he's having a down year. But yeah, that's how bad our defense is. Like. Who they got at wide receiver? Allen Robinson, and they got Treylon Burks, who's been, underwhelming. But yeah, man, this defense is so bad where, yeah, third stringers, guys that you never heard of will come out there and just look like stars. They really do. But yeah, bring it 316 say he's trying to make you feel better. It's fine, man. Just
from what Dallas did last year.
Yeah, no, you don't have to make me feel any better than what I do right now. Look, it is what it is. Like I said, I think
I know I'm down about my team too. So
right. No, I really do think best case scenario for this team and for this franchise is if they do move on from Ron. So unless Ron has a crazy run, then sure, and we made the playoffs. But I think ultimately, it's best to move on from him. I think it's time. I think the game's bad
this year is,
and all of his staff too.
Yeah, it's his time.
This year is like your die year, and I think he knows it, and I don't think he cares at this point. He's like, whatever. Like, I think he's like, all right, if I get fired, at least I've made enough to retire.
Right. Yeah, but thank you guys for having me on. I gotta go.
All right, thanks, man.
But appreciate it, guys. You guys, Helton Commanders, peace.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Man, good to have him on. That was Ed Oliver. That was so cool, dude.
That was so fun.
Dude, you're getting so many views on this shit. Ed Oliver, I don't know if you're hearing this, but if you could switch to a Cowboys fan for one day, my channel could use the views.
All right. So let's.
Dude, you got so many chats.
Yeah.
And not only that, you've got so many people viewing. I'm jealous.
Hey, man.
Let me drink my Coke in sadness.
All right. Let's do a fun game. And are you scared of this matchup? Yes or no? Anthony Brown versus Terry McLaurin.
Yes.
Trayvon Diggs versus Terry McLaurin.
No. Because Trayvon Diggs ate Terry McLaurin last year.
That is true.
In both games. Anthony Brown, I forgot to say this. Antonio Gibson, is he in there?
Running back, yeah.
Running back? Because I was going to say, remember when he fumbled the ball a little bit too much?
Yeah, but they haven't given him the ball enough because of the play calling.
Thank God. At this point, maybe you might want to, but I don't know.
Micah Parsons versus Antonio Gibson. I expect Micah Parsons to lay hits on him.
I'm honestly, the only matchup that does scare me is Anthony Brown because he's not trash, but he's burned us so many times. And what I forgot to say when Ed Oliver was here is Tyler Smith, the guy that leads the nation in most penalties, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't get any, hasn't been burning Dallas like he normally would with penalties. Now, however, what I will say is Anthony Brown is still capable of doing what Anthony Brown does. So you bet your ass I'm scared of him versus Terry McLaurin. The thing is, I think if I was Dan Quinn, I would be smart and I'd put D-Law. Lawrence
Sorry, I'm
Armstrong.
laughing at this chat of a DC Bay saying that he got tested for crabs.
Hey, DC Bayman, was it hermit crabs or what kind of? Hey, can DC Bay come on? We could.
Huh?
It's your show, but I was gonna say, can he come on?
I haven't found him on Instagram.
DC Bay, drop your Insta, and let's have you on the show. I'm like it's like I'm running your show. If you want to come on, because DC Bay's got a lot to say, we might as well have him on. I feel like DeMarcus Lawrence. I feel like Lawrence Armstrong, Diggs, Parsons. Those are the guys you should be scared of. Oh, Diggs,
but Trayvon Diggs scares Anthony Brown. As much crap as we give him over the last couple of years,
yeah.
Carson Wentz is gonna throw the ball to him and he's gonna make easy interceptions.
That's true.
Or 2, he's just gonna knock the ball away on a 4th down, and the Cowboys are gonna have the ball back easily.
So turnover, right?
Yeah.
So again, the problem with Dallas is if they keep going past second down, 2nd and 5, and all that, their drives are gonna take too long, and the most they're gonna get out of it is a field goal. So that's what I'm kind of worried about. Because once they go 3rd and 5, now they're on 4th and 10. It gets scary from there for Dallas on a drive like that. They need it, like I said, they need to have early pass rushing. Anthony Brown, that is true. He can knock the ball out of his hands. And if Carson Wentz isn't running, easy. Let's look at the chat.
Dude, it's a lot, dude. And here's the thing, like, so when I reach the end, voiceover takes me all the way at the beginning.
What's that?
So when I'm at the end of the, say that I get there's so many that when I try to get all the way at the end of the chat so I can see the most recent message, voiceover like brings the Chrome over to like the beginning, and so I can't see like the most recent ones coming in.
I do it on my phone.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna do it on my phone.
Are you still on? Oh. It says, Bring It 316 says, it doesn't matter when Wentz can't throw the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, Oscar went to go cry. So since I am here reading the chat, if you guys could put your questions down and I will read them out loud for sad Oscar Montiel. And if you guys have any questions about Dallas, I know most of y'all are Commanders fans. I'll answer any questions about Dallas. Put your score predictions down in the chat. What's the score? What do you guys predict the score is gonna be? Ed Oliver went from 31 to, I think he said 31 to 16. I said 23 to 8. I kept mine the same. Then he said maybe 30. Then he said maybe 24 to 16. Then maybe 24 to 20 or something like that. So, or 20 to 16. I don't remember exactly what he went down to, but put your score predictions down in the comments. Oscar, come back. I guess we wait for Oscar. Here, let's see if I can get him copywritten. Hold on. Let me put some music.
All right, I'm back.
I was trying to get you copywritten. So I asked your fans, if you have any, to put their score predictions down in the comments.
Let me see.
Last comment was at 6:21 my time, so 9:21 your time. From Bring It 316. It doesn't matter when Wentz can't throw the ball. I maybe I'm misinterpreting his comment, but I think what he means is it doesn't matter who's the matchup. McLaurin versus
No, yeah, it doesn't matter. He does have a point. Micah Parsons. By the time it's time for that Terry McLaurin's open, Carson Wentz is going to be already on the ground, either via DeMarcus
a
Lawrence,
sack,
or Dorrance Armstrong, or whatever.
Well, because like Joe Burrow, they got 6 quarterback hits on him and 4 sacks. No, it was 4 quarterback hits, 6 sacks. Do you think it's going to be that much or more? How many quarterback hits do you think they'll get on him?
10.
10.
Yep.
You think 10? Your audience won't listen to me, so you should have them put in the chat. How many QB hits do you think?
How many QB hits do y'all think that Carson Wentz is going to receive via the Cowboys defense, y'all?
Put that in the chat.
Put it in the chat.
Read it.
Oh, man.
Hey, bring in 316. Good luck with that hurricane. Stay safe.
Yeah, man. Make sure you stay in your basement. Make sure you all got water, food.
Make sure you have water, food, flashlights, any portable chargers. Keep your devices charged up. I know because power is going to most likely go out with that hurricane. Our thoughts are with you, man. And maybe comment on this chat after that damn hurricane. Comment on this post or follow Oscar and or me, and then let us know if you're safe, man. And to everybody in that hurricane, good luck. Good luck to all of you.
Where's the hurricane at exactly?
There's Hurricane Ian. I know Canada just got hit. I know Puerto Rico just got hit, and I forgot what state is about to get hit too. Is that all people are gonna comment? How many people? Hey, you should check if you got any new subscribers.
Hold on, I'm looking.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bro, one part, my internet just...
Yeah, I know. I noticed.
I couldn't hear shit, and what I probably was saying was like,
I got one more subscriber, so I'm at 101.
Hey! I wonder how many people are actually watching. I saw 15 the last time, which is probably the most you've had on your stream.
Right now it says 4 people watching.
Okay. I feel like YouTube doesn't really count that accurately when you're live. But hey, if you get Ed Oliver on more than 5 times, oh man, you're gonna explode. So yeah, I think the best part about Dallas is our defense, and that's probably what's gonna keep us in the game. But again, I need CD Lamb. I need our new tight end. It was a tight end that we got, and they mentioned it on Undisputed. Erickson? No, not what's his name? He's good at running routes, and he's good at
updates available. Updates available. Do you want to restart to install these updates?
Sorry about that. I feel like if he can run the routes, if he can catch the ball, take it downfield.
Smack City 26 says it doesn't matter. Oh, this culture isn't winning. That's the truth of the matter. You're not wrong there, buddy.
You're not wrong, man. Is that the last comment you saw?
Yeah, that's the last one, yeah.
So no one's putting their scores. Is it they're afraid?
Huh?
No one's putting their scores. Are they afraid to put their scores? Or
It's probably because they stopped watching, to be honest.
Ed Oliver left? Goodbye. We got to deal with that blind bitch in Vegas? Oscar by himself? Nah. Watch Ed Oliver come back and everyone start chatting again. Right?
Oh, Smack City says 14 nothing Cowboys.
14-0.
I don't think it's gonna be that low scoring.
I don't.
No. If it's 14, if it ends up being 14 nothing, I'm buckled up for a long, boring ass video.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, if they do that and they do nothing the rest of the half, it's gonna be because of dropped passes, incomplete throws by Carson Wentz. It's gonna be Butterhand CD Lamb, apparently. It's gonna be
Hey, but CD Lamb caught a one-handed pass. Did you not see
he did.
that?
Yeah, because he's right-handed, tried to get it, finally caught it. But a lot of the times the ball is just hitting his chest. So it's probably going to be some incomplete passes or someone's going to get tackled. It's going to be, yeah. How many dropbacks do you think he's going to get?
No, that I don't know.
Because my O-line, I think, will protect Wentz. Oh, not Wentz.
You mean Rush?
Rush. I think they'll protect him. But I think that someone's going to get gassed. It's either going to be the offense.
I feel like Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, and I guess Ed Oliver. By what Ed Oliver says, granted, I haven't I noticed it somewhat. Can't remember what game. I think it was the Lions game. Jamin Davis can bully Tyler Smith.
Yes.
I honestly also do think that they could also bully who's that guy, the 40-year-old man?
Jason Peters?
Jason Peters, because he's old.
Yeah, but one thing I like that they did with him is they put him at left guard, because at left guard you don't really need to be running, because you don't need to be running unilaterally like you do on left tackle or right tackle. So I feel like he's fine at left guard because you don't really need to be running as much. You can be more stationary. I feel like he's fine at left guard. And yeah, maybe he's old and they're gonna get to him quicker, but he did fine yesterday.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get a sad crying Oscar or an angry Oscar on Sunday?
Probably the latter. Because, dude, not even when it was 56-14 was I crying, actually.
You weren't crying, but you were mad. I remember that.
Yeah, I was mad.
I do remember
the only time that I think that I was coming close to tears was when Barcelona embarrassed Real Madrid.
You said you cried on that video, but then you had to stop it. Oh, that would get so many views. I'm leaning back in my chair. I'm not talking into the mic. Man, but that Johnny Depp trial for 8 hours, I had to talk into the mic. No more chats?
No.
Man, imagine if you could do super chats. You would have made bank tonight.
Imagine if I could set up my PayPal, right?
Oh, with your personal bank account?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you don't even need a. Yeah, you could. Why don't you make a business one?
I just gotta learn how to link the thing to.
Link the what? The bank account?
No, link the PayPal to YouTube.
You mean to the description?
Whatever, same difference.
Bro, it's like taking my link and pasting it. It's that easy. Because there's a URL. Well, for a business, Well, if you're gonna do a business, which is probably the best way to do it, there's a little button where it says create a link for it, and you can edit the name, and then you can put a little like welcoming message for them, like this will help. Like if you've ever clicked on mine, it says like this will help pay our staff and da, da, da. It gives you a little thing with that, and then you can copy the link. So it's create a link. And then once you copy the link, put it in your notes so it's always in your description. But you got to create it first. Now, are you going to do a business or a person? Well, maybe we should discuss this off the air.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss this off the air. We'll figure something out.
There's probably a fucking hacker going, oh, he's going to do this, huh?
Anyway, any more conversations? Heads up, this was a special live stream. So I'm still doing the golden truth with Aaron. Granted, after today's result, so I don't know if I want to go back to Aaron.
I don't. Yeah. If only Ed Oliver was more available, then you know.
I mean, I was basically out of it for like 4 months on his channel. Like I didn't show up for 4 months on his channel because of the Iowa thing. So.
And his channel got more views without you. You see? But yeah, no, I'm good.
Anyway, alright, y'all. This was a fun live stream, but as Washington Commander fans don't know, all fun things must continue. Must come to an end, I guess. Wait. There we go. But already, make sure y'all sub up Jason. For those that are still here. And I think I did mention it at the beginning. Make sure you guys sub him up. The link is in the description. Also check out Ed Oliver's channel. His link is also in the description. But already, y'all. Have a good night. I'll see y'all Friday night.